Today we are taking a look at the KiiBOOM Phantom 81 keyboard, and let me tell you, it's about to get pretty lit in here. But before we dive into all the gaming greatness this keyboard has to offer, let me just share a quick joke with you. Why did the keyboard cross the road? To get to the other side of the desk. So, the Phantom 81 is a 75% keyboard with a sleek and modern design, costing around $160 US. It features customizable RGB, media controls, dedicated multimedia keys, and it can be used wireless with Bluetooth 5.0 and 2.4 GHz, as it does have a 4000 milliamp battery, and for as long as I've been using it, I haven't even had to charge it. Out of the box, you get a quick start guide, a braided USB-C cable, a nice microfiber cloth, a wired keycap puller, a nice switch puller, a couple extra switches, and a little KiiBOOM sticker. It comes in 3 different colorways: clear, clear yellow, or the one I got, which is clear and black. All of them feature this brass plate and brass colored volume knob. The case is made of acrylic plastic all the way around. You can even see the PCB if you turn the keyboard over. You can also find the 2.4 GHz dongle here, and this nice attention to detail with the KiiBOOM logo in this nice brass that also adds some weight to the keyboard. This keyboard does weigh around 1430 grams or 3.1 pounds, which adds to the premium feel of this board. To switch between connectivity modes and between macOS and Windows mode, there is some switches on the back of the keyboard near the USB-C port. They use these customized crystal keycaps that are fully transparent. They do feel a little different than most other keycaps, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. They are just more smooth feeling instead of the normal chalky matte feeling. It's kind of hard to explain, but think of touching your phone screen, but just a little glossier, I would say. They do, however, start to feel a little greasy after a little while from your fingers touching them all the time, but I still like them, and as long as you wipe it down every so often, it's not too bad. It does feature south-facing RGB lights, and with the clear keycaps, it does shine pretty bright. One thing to note though is when the RGBs are on, it can be difficult to read the letters on the keycaps, so if you can't type without looking at your keyboard, which you shouldn't be doing anyways, I would keep them off. You can still have the RGBs on around the side, which is what I normally do, and they can be controlled separately with FN+B. Here's the rest of the shortcuts on this keyboard, so you can pause and read them if you need to. You can also control the RGB lights with the software it comes with. The software that comes with the Phantom 81 is a game changer. You can program macros, adjust RGB lighting, and remap keys to your heart's desire. And the best part, it's pretty user-friendly and easy to navigate, so you don't have to be a super tech genius to figure it out. I wouldn't say it's the best software out there for keyboards, but it's pretty average, and it does everything that you need to do. It just isn't perfect. Like, I would say like a 10 out of 10 is like Razer software. This is probably somewhere in like the 6 or 7 out of 10 range. The keyboard uses KiiBOOM's custom crystal mechanical switches that deliver a satisfying tactile feedback with pretty low actuation force. They do come pre-lubed and sound very good as well, and are also very nice to type on. And this keyboard is hot swappable with 3 or 5 pin switches, so you can swap it out with any switch that you'd like, although I do like the switches that it came with. Here's a quick sound test of this keyboard with the crystal mechanical switches. Every switch on this keyboard sounds really smooth, including the stabilizers, and honestly it feels like a custom keyboard. The Phantom 81 supports N-key rollover and anti-ghosting, so you can press all the keys at once without any missed inputs. For everyday use, this keyboard is excellent. Typing feels super nice on this keyboard and is comparable to my $500 custom keyboard. The keyboard does sit slightly higher than most other keyboards, which could possibly lead to some discomfort after long periods of use. However, I haven't had any issues with that so far, but it's just something to look out for. The volume knob in the top right allows you to quickly mute and lower the volume of your computer. Most 75% keyboards are now including this volume knob, which is why it is slowly becoming my favorite size for a keyboard, over 65%. For gaming, I have tested it in a wide range of games, including FPS games like MW2, in which it performed very well without any missed keys, even when I was using it wirelessly. I also used it in a more story type of game like Stardew Valley, and of course it was perfect in that as well. And with the wireless, you can free up some space on your desk and make your space look a lot cleaner. Sometimes I even just have the keyboard in my lap and just lounge back in my chair, and that's a lot harder to do if you have a wired keyboard. I use the wireless with the 2.4 GHz dongle from about 20 feet away before I started to have some issues, which is nice if your keyboard and PC are pretty far apart, so you can clear up some space on your desk and not have to worry about connectivity and losing connection all the time. With most keyboards that have wireless, it's not the greatest connection, and this keyboard has some of the best wireless I have seen on a keyboard so far. This keyboard is perfect for pretty much anyone. I have been using it for mostly gaming and just random typing and stuff like that, but if you want to, you can turn off the RGB and easily use it in an office setting for coding or any other professional type setting, as it has this nice modern colorway and is a super nice keyboard to type on. I seriously was not expecting this keyboard to be as good as it was before I started using it, and I am starting to prefer it over my custom keyboard, which is about like 3 times the price of this one. It has good wireless functionality, it is hot swappable, has an insanely good design, and you could just tell KiiBOOM took the extra effort to put excellent build quality into everything from the included switch puller to underneath the keyboard. I had a hard time finding any cons. Besides, the keycaps do start to feel a little bit slimy if you don't clean them off ever so often, and that you can see the individual RGBs on the side of the board, which you can't really do anything about if you want RGBs on the side of a keyboard, except just turn them off. I highly recommend this keyboard, and if you want some other keyboard recommendations, check out this video for my top 5 keyboards. And if you made it this far, I'll give you one last joke. Why was the computer cold? Because it left its windows open. Man, I really need to make some friends.